I like telling stories because stories precede the revolution. I want to say that again. I love telling stories because stories precede the revolution. And because stories are the most potent healer of our psychic wounds on the planet. So I love telling stories. So if we want to change our condition, we got to change our stories. If we want to renew our courage, our vision, our capacity to endure and to win, we got to change our stories. That's why I like telling stories. Now, it is true that I don't like the fact that Araminta will be sharing a space with a sworn enemy of our people. I don't like that. But this is more about making sure that Andrew Jackson's descendants don't choke the life out of Harriet Tubman. Don't portray her as someone who is other than an agitator, other than a liberator, other than a warrior, other than a builder. Want to make sure that they don't choke that out of Araminta. Because that's what we need. Right now, we need Araminta to come back forward through us. Araminta as the warrior, the agitator, the healer, the builder. That's what we need. It's also true that I love telling stories, especially stories about us. Stories that help us heal from the wounds of oppression. Stories that help us build. Stories that inspire us, and stories that instruct us. Stories that give us strategies, some timeless strategies of our ancestors that I can use today and tomorrow to help me challenge the oppression that we face. You see, the gray-haired ones, they know, the grandparents, they know the power of stories. They've seen families torn apart simply because somebody told the wrong story. On the other side, they've seen people endure and overcome obstacles because they were told the right story at the right time. Too often, we surrender stories to those who mean us no good. We surrender stories to Disney, Marvel, CNN, BBC, TNT, Netflix. If we're going to win, we're going to have to snatch our stories back. That's right. Take them deep into our chests, into our stomachs, into our psyches, and recreate them so that they serve us. We gotta snatch our stories and our story making back. If we want real revolution, not only must we snatch them back, we must learn to tell our stories from the inside out and not the outside in. I'll say that again. We must learn to tell our stories from the inside out and not the outside in. But instead of lecturing to you about that and about how to do that, what we do is we show it to you. We demonstrate it using one of our most revered and most powerful ancestors, Araminta Harriet Tubman. She rescued us from physical bondage. Maybe her story can rescue us from psychic bondage. Maybe, like her, once free, you'll go back and fetch your family, fetch your people, our people. Maybe our children will tell a story of our courage, of our freedom, of our power, of our success. Maybe. Maybe this is the right time. Maybe this is the right story. I'll see you at the Auburn Avenue Research Library, downtown Atlanta, 6 p.m., October 31st. But we're not the only ones who know of the power of stories. Those who oppress us also know of the power of stories. I love those stories. They can be told through songs and through jokes and through proverbs. If they give me some strategies that I can use, if they give me a bit of my culture that I can use to help me and my people out of the mess that we're in, oh, I love those stories. I love stories that correct our distorted memory. Stories that flip the script. Those alien scripts that are instilled sometimes deep in our psyche without our consent. Stories that would have me and others work against our own causes, our own people. Stories that would have me support my own oppression without even knowing that I'm doing so. Ironically, some of those scripts are instilled by stories. So I love the stories that help me counter those stories and the embedded scripts from those stories.